Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Better go subscribe. YouTube, roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok.
Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Let's do it. Let's do it. How y'all feeling this morning? Hopefully everybody's feeling good this morning. I know I'm feeling good, man. Fall is here. I love it. It does bother me in the morning just a little bit. The season change, I don't know about y'all, but it gets my sinuses and everything. Y'all know I'm just coming off from the little flu bug or whatever last week. So early mornings for me, in between like that 6 and 9 o'clock hour, that 5 to 9 hour is always different for me. But got to go outside with the dogs. I ain't had no socks on, man. It just felt so good outside today. But welcome in. Let's talk some football this morning. Let's talk some Bama football. Had to handle some business last night for the network, man. Ended up getting pulled into a little meeting / conversation, and some huge things on the horizon. To finish out the season, some opportunities to take advantage of some postseason play, covering high school football, but also the college football playoff, man. There's a new website that's about to launch, and I'm looking at an opportunity where I just want to see what the performance-based settings and analytics are going to be like as far as algorithm, and then we probably going to get into it. So my team be on the lookout. Y'all, I think I'm gonna switch cameras again because I'm not liking the HD camera right now. It's looking kind of, don't it look kind of fuzzy to y'all? Or is it just me? I feel like it's real fuzzy. Yeah, the lighting is not gonna do good with this one. And it's only because it's on StreamYard. So let me go. I'm gonna go to the other view real quick. Let me remove this real quick. I'll be right back, chat. Give me 2 seconds to adjust this. Did my mouse just die? All right. Give me 2 seconds. We'll be right back. I mean, right back. All right, let's see. All right, that look better. All right, we'll deal with that. We'll rock with that one for today. But so like I said, today we're gonna get into some conversation. Oh, we got a private check. Okay, fuzzy. All right, we better though. We better now with this one, right? This one should do for the rest of this segment. How y'all feeling? Man? How y'all feeling? Zach, welcome in. So this morning we have more of our conversation type setting. I'm thinking about opening the phone lines up since we didn't do a phone call segment last night. I'm thinking about opening the phone lines up for the last hour of the show. But I really want to have a conversation type setting today because I have access to some new numbers and stats that I can look at more in depth, like the official stats that are being reported to the NCAA. We have those available now. So there's some numbers and things that we were crunching late last night. Just kind of getting the dynamics from Florida State game to ULM game, the difference in production, especially on the defensive side. Some numbers that I want to look at. We got some questions that we want to answer today, and some topics that we want to dive into. And one of them is, I really think in both games, one consistent that was for sure was the effort and production by the younger players. I'm talking about your redshirt freshmen, your true freshmen, your sophomores, first year starters. The production put out by them was consistent. And I'm saying this because I'm leaning into a theory that I've kind of had coming into the season before we even kicked off, when we started talking about the amount of talent on roster last year. There was true freshmen that impacted the games last season, that came up in big moments, that played key spots in big moments last year. And the same thing I seen happen again this year. So we'll dive into that conversation, and the topic of conversation around that is it time to let the young guns loose? Is it time to let the freshmen, the sophomores, the red shirt freshmen, is it time to allow them to be in more impactful roles? Somebody say we're only in week 2. I think it's time to start rolling some things. This is a different type of college football, and I think you're starting to see a different type of product come from high school. What's up, Jason Jackson? Good to see you. Good to see you, Urban Essence, Matt Farm. I see everybody in the chat. I see y'all. So we're gonna open up that can of worms this morning and have that conversation. And I got the clip coming too about the Ryan Williams take. That was a real good one. What's up, Chief? Good to see you in the chat, man. Roll Tide. Y'all continue to run them likes up over there on YouTube, man. And TikTok. Let me make sure I'm good over there on TikTok while I'm playing. I need to go ahead and plug this mouse up. Tonio, what's good, big homie? I see y'all in the chat. My bad. Let me give y'all look. Yeah, y'all love, man. Y'all know TikTok over there. They be holding it down. I told y'all TikTok gonna show up and show out every time. Shout out to TikTok too, man. We had 36.5K likes on our last stream. I think Tia led the way with that. Anytime she comes into the chat, I know she's excited about her Alabama football, and she's gonna tap that screen the whole time I'm live. So I appreciate the taps on the screen. Y'all continuing to share that. And now we're forcing ourselves into a new algorithm over on Facebook. On TikTok, and that's all due to you all's participation and your support. So I appreciate y'all for that, man. Y'all, I got 2 spoiled dogs. They act like they can't do nothing. Diamond sitting right here. She is literally in the studio chat. So if y'all see me looking to the right a lot, it's because I'm trying to make sure she ain't getting into nothing. She like to pick at stuff sometimes when I'm live, but that's my baby. What's up, DJ? Good to see you in the chat. Roll Tide. Good to see everybody in the chat. MJ, what's good, bro? We at it again. Yeah, we at it again, man. Listen, y'all gotta pray for your boy, man. We gotta start getting a full night of sleep. I gotta start getting my full night rest. Yeah, I be up watching film. I watched the Alabama-Florida State game again just to make sure I wasn't, like, my eyes wasn't tricking me about this scheme. And we're going to talk about this 4-2-5 against the run, the successes had before coming to Alabama. And we're going to talk about how important it's going to be for this team, the same energy, the same effort, and the same focus to show up against a team like Wisconsin, who doesn't bring in a lot of firepower on the offensive side. But if we allow them to slow the game down, it'll put us in situations where we're at a snap disadvantage again. So we'll talk about our scheme. We'll talk about our scheme versus Wisconsin going into this week. And then another topic of discussion we'll get into today is some key players that are really speaking out about their disappointment in their performance in a 73-0 shutout. And when y'all hear some of the names, and this is like real stuff. When we talk about we're tired of the guys talking, I truly believe this is why you see the type of response you see in the media. I don't know if you all saw the presses with Coach Deboer, Coach Grubb, Coach Womack, but they all have this approach to the podium right now where it's straight business. You know, haven't heard a lot of jokes. You know, Coach Grubb is really straightforward and direct with his answers. You could kind of see the irritation, and because y'all gotta understand, a lot of the stuff that's being pushed on social media and Twitter are literally from the guys that are in there asking those questions, and a lot of times it's like Coach Saban used to say, it's rat poison. And to me, to a certain degree, that's the media's job, to be unbiased, to create conversations. But there are certain things that you just shouldn't allow or entertain, you know, as a professional. And I think we could kind of get into that conversation as it pertains to how it's affecting the team on the field, their focus in the locker room and all that. And to a certain degree, if that's what you need, that's what you need. It's a new day and age. Coach Saban had his way of doing it. I think Coach Kalen Deboer and the staff have found their little wave or mode of how they're going to handle the media going throughout the rest of the season. So we'll get into that, man. And then shout out to DJ. I see you in the chat. James, Wade, I see y'all pulling up. What's up? Wake up. Good morning, Dylan. I see you. Roll Tide. Good morning, everybody. Continue running likes up. So we're going to get into those conversations here on the Coach Smook Network. We're at the 16-minute mark. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Before I continue, I need to do something real quick. Let me do something. Okay, we're good. Let me make sure we're good over here. Before we jump into it, y'all, I do need to put a poll in the chat. So let me get this dashboard up real quick. And I need y'all feedback on something. We have a few things brewing. For the morning show, I'm thinking about making a schedule adjustment for the rest of the month of September, because in October, man, we have the gauntlet scheduled. And okay, I can't ask y'all this without giving the announcement first. So we got 33 in the chat. Can we continue to run the likes up? Can I get this 25 like goal? Y'all don't understand. 25 likes a day has really helped this network in so many different ways. Analytics, everything, the way we hitting our bonuses, all the numbers that we need to hit. You guys in the 25 likes per live stream, per video has truly helped us. So continue to hit that like button. But we have an opportunity, and I can't ask y'all to finish this poll without giving y'all this announcement. My moderators, they're gonna probably be mad that we didn't have a meeting to discuss this. But the pilot that I was telling y'all about for ESPN SEC Network, the casting and everything starts in October. Now it requires me to be in Birmingham one day out the week, right? And this is something that I've been waiting to do for a long time. And it's official. Y'all can go and start looking it up. But we go to the screening at the end of September. It's a Thursday morning gig. No, it's Tuesdays when we start filming, but I think they're going to be airing on Thursday mornings. It's going to be airing on Thursday mornings, and it's going to be I think the platforms they have it on the YouTube page. It's a sister company of the SEC network. So ESPN and the SEC network. So once we get the official headliner or whatever they want to call it, I'll be putting out the link. But I want to move our morning show time back to 11 o'clock because that'll be post-practice reporting time. It'll keep me from having to do so many lives throughout the day, and you all can come at one time. So I'm thinking about moving our morning show back to 11. One, I have some personal training stuff that I got to complete in the mornings, and also I'm starting class. I start school October 1st. So I got a lot of things brewing, and I don't want to slow down the production of content, but I do want to be able to make sure that we're putting out the right stuff first. And I think 11 o'clock is still early enough. I think 11 o'clock is still early enough. So I'm going to put a poll in the chat while we let the membership video. We had somebody ask about the membership video over on TikTok. I'm going to run it again. And while I'm running that, I'm going to get the poll up. And y'all let me know. Give me some feedback throughout the chat, throughout the stream today. I appreciate y'all for y'all support. And once again, man, continue to support by joining the AAA family. We're over 100 members again, y'all. Another month with over 100 members. Thank y'all for supporting the Coach Smook Network. And if you want to support on another level, this is how you do it. Check it out. Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Chat, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I want to talk about it today. We've kind of been past this FSU ULM phase and talking, but I want to highlight a few things before we turn the page fully to Wisconsin And that's one thing that we've always been talking about since the beginning of the season. If this team showed up with some effort, we could see an elite showing of production as far as Alabama standard football, all of the things that we want to see, that we expect from this team. We can see it if they just show up with some effort. So I looked at some things this past weekend, watching this team come out, and you can tell definitely the energy on the sideline was different. I didn't even notice how many players were not on the sideline for that Florida State game that didn't get to make that trip. But you can tell the veteran presence on the sideline, even with the guys that were injured, Jan Miller, guys that really were dialed in from the sideline. That was very effective this game, and giving some of the young players confidence. And it made sense after the press conference yesterday with Coach Grubb, Kane Womack, and Kalen Deboer. They all were making comments about, the staff's in agreements. Their agreements to rotate the young guys early, get guys into game-like situations early, because there's a lot of talent depth on this team, and you want to remain versatile with these versatile play calls and the systems and philosophies that you want to call, that you want to put on the field week in and week out. You got to have multiple guys comfortable, at least in the base presentation level of these systems, right? So we heard Deontay Lawson speak on this before the season kicked off against Florida State, how last year going into week one, Alabama was just getting to a stage defensively where they were getting the phase one calls down. They were just getting the intro phases and the basics of the defensive system down. Well, you see them show up week one against Florida State, and it seems like nothing is working. You see after the first drive on each side, it seemed like everything kind of just came unraveled. And if you ask the players, they'll tell you lack of focus, lack of execution, lack of effort. That's what led to that showing. You come out next week and you see a total different product. You leave your fan base wondering, is this just because it's ULM, or is this just or is this really what we can see when this team is locked in? You all know where I stand on that standpoint. I look at the numbers. This is where I go and I look at the numbers. I look at that first drive against Florida State, and we ran the ball 6 times on that first. No, we ran the ball 4 times on that first drive. Average yard per carry on that drive was 4.8, right? We didn't run the ball effectively the rest of the game. But if you was to take our best drive from that game, then you turn around and you average out a game with Alabama's best effort, the average yards per carry for the offense this game against ULM. Let me go back to the numbers. I'm sorry, I had my stats pulled up over here. Average yards per rush for Alabama in this game against ULM was 5.9 yards on 36 carries. And so, and if you was to take away the 6 carries by the quarterbacks, you had 30 carries at an average of 4.9 yards per carry. So one thing is consistent: when this offense is operating at a clip, right, in the run game, we can expect an average of 4 to 5 yards, 4 to 6 yards per carry. When this offense, no matter who the opponent is, we've seen this in 2 games consistently, right? Those are the small numbers I start looking at. And then I also go and look at the pass yard and completion, the average yards per completion, right? Ty Simpson still hovering around that 70% completion percentage overall. That target that Coach Grubb and Coach Deboer said they aim for, that 65 to 70% completion percentage range. Right? Even in the loss, Ty Simpson's completion percentage was still above 60%. Then you come into game 2, another efficient passing game, so efficient that you can call it perfect, because literally that's what it is. When you don't miss a pass in your QB1, your 17 passes, you don't miss one. That's a crazy level of focus that you got to have. I don't care who your opponent is, right? You look at that. So that's another consistent that we can see with this offense, in the midst of all the overhang problems that we try to, that's baseline, that we look at result oriented people, not result oriented, but like people that just look at the result and don't look at what the makeup of the result is. You don't look at the process of how you got there. So I'm looking at the process of how we even look good at points at Florida State, and then how we look good at points in ULM. And I take those and I start trying to average them out. If you can get 7 to 8 of those drives a game, Alabama is more so elite than we're giving them credit for. And so once you get past the effort thing, now we have to establish consistency. And I think that's what we need to see going into the Wisconsin game. Another number that I want to look at defensively, when this defense is not missing tackles, right? The second quarter against, the first quarter against Florida State, we had 2 missed tackles, right? Had 2 missed tackles. We gave up 7 points. The second quarter against Florida State, you saw what happened, how everything just kind of fell apart. The beginning of the third quarter was probably the most effective defensive drives we saw from Alabama against Florida State, right? I think that's when we saw Alabama's defense kind of start to turn a curve and pick up the speed as far as their reactions. Effort wasn't there to finish the game, but we started to see guys start to pick it up a little bit. Turn the page to ULM. Now, this is a game offensively. We didn't expect ULM to be able to outman us, but there were things schematically that we knew would be presented. And you wanted to see guys reacting a twitch faster and flying to the ball and securing tackles. We complained about no pressures, right? Florida State game, we had, I think, 7 pressures that yielded how many sacks, chat? 7 pressures that yielded how many sacks? So I look at it and I say, man, we're getting to the quarterback, but why aren't we finishing? Same situation presents itself against ULM. You got 12 pressures, you get 12 tackles for losses. You get 9 pressures on the quarterback, 0 sacks. The one time that you did have an opportunity, you can't get him down. He gets out of the pocket. He makes a play and almost completes a pass downfield. Still arguably could have been a catch. I'm not going to lie. But you see these numbers, the pressures are there. So for everybody that doesn't believe that Alabama has a pass rush, it's there. Can we finish? We're going to have an opportunity to finish against Wisconsin, a more balanced standard passing game. Not going to see much RPO action and things misdirection. I don't see them switching it up for this game. This is a team that's really going to stick to their guns and what they are. And they've actually started to air the ball out a little bit. We'll break down some Wisconsin stats that's going to matter in this game. But these are some of the key numbers I'm looking at, just the pressures, the amount of pressures on the quarterback. You're talking about 7 recorded pressures for this defense. And I think as you continue to build that momentum, as you continue to get the game reps and get up the game speed, you're going to see a lot more effectiveness. I just want us to finish plays. If we finish plays, we're in the spot right now, Alabama, to be considered amongst one of those what they call pressure defenses. Being able to get pressure from the interior, from the edge, from the second level. I like how our safeties walked down in the box and played in run support. I like how aggressive we were playing on the underneath concepts. Like a lot of flying around. That's all we need to see from this defense, because I have never been one to really blame the scheme. Now, I did make a comment about the front and third and passing. We'll talk about that when we get to the film session. But a lot of good things to build on when you see some consistencies when you see some high spots present themselves in a consistent way. Right? So a very small picture to take from Florida State game, a very small picture to take from that game. And then you transition that to ULM and you take that wide variety of options and things to look at in that ULM game. Yes, it's ULM, but look at how you execute it against ULM. Not that it just happened, but look how it happened. Right? Because that could have easily been a 28-3 victory, right? That could have easily been a 28-3 victory or a 42-17. That could have easily been one of those games where we're seeing missed tackles, but guys making plays in the air because they just don't have a quarterback the caliber of what we faced the week before, or they don't have the receiver caliber of the guys we faced the week before. We didn't see that. We saw a complete domination, complete shutout. Defense showed up. I think this is a good building block. All right, let's turn the page. Let's get to Wisconsin, man. Let's get to Wisconsin. I think that's what we really want to talk about. I'm a forward track thinking type personnel. So let's talk about Wisconsin. what does Wisconsin present? And we were had the privilege of being with Locked On, being on with Ryan of Locked On Wisconsin last night on Alabama, the voice of college football, and a few key things that he kind of brought attention to that I wanted Alabama Nation to make sure they pay attention to was that Alabama still has yet to prove our trenches. We have yet to prove that we can be consistent in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Offensive line, defensive line is a key that I think this is the game where you need to see the growth. Now, the first topic of conversation, Alabama's offensive line versus Wisconsin defensive line. And I'm gonna switch the beat up because I want to get into my breakdown mode. I want to talk about just the matchup in itself. One, we know Wisconsin is going to be physical up front. Wisconsin does not mind loading the box. You're going to see them in a traditional 4-3 type style defense, right? You might see them go nickel a few times because we will, I think we'll go smaller with our formations, meaning one tight end, one back. I think we'll go try to keep their trip sets out there to keep them spread out because they want to keep everything in the box. They want to try to play physical inside in between the tackles. They want to keep the run game there. And surprisingly, that's where Alabama has been the most effective, our in between the tackle run game. So that's going to be a matchup there. Can our offensive line establish an early push to open up, not the pass game, to open up the extended run game, right? I think the interior is the challenge. The interior is the challenge. Them trying to contain us and keep us from getting to the perimeter is going to help them. Team speed wise, I don't truly believe our offensive line has the athleticism to outflank this front. This is an athletic front, and then they have good run support coming down from the secondary. We talk about Ricardo Harmon, one of their cornerbacks. He's going to be playing some of everywhere at the cornerback level, nickel, boundary. Very, very, very smart with his IQ. Can rotate to the robbers. Will rotate to a robber concept in safety sometimes. High IQ guy. Rolls down and feels on run fits very well from the second level. So it's going to be a lot of keys to be keying on for our offensive line to be effective this game. And I think Wisconsin is going to present an aggressive front when attacking our run game. We saw Kevin Riley, how patient his running was. Is this the same type of game where you want his skill set to be utilized? Yes, 100%. Especially when you got guys up front on Wisconsin side that can really be disruptive. Let me pull up their depth chart real quick. I had a diagram up where I had their projected depth chart. Here it is right here. I think this is the exact tab I had up yesterday. Oh yeah, here it is. Looking at that depth chart, we talked about one of their guys, and if you turn on the film, he plays a lot of the edge position, plays a lot of the edge outside linebacker position, and you're going to see them run like a true four front look, but they're only running two defensive linemen out there. All right, they're running two defensive linemen out there, maybe three. They want to be light on the edges because they feel like they have guys that could kind of like what we expect from our wolf position. They're going to put two of those guys out there. And that's why I think the interior run game should be effective. But what they do well is their linebackers run fit very well. You'll see that their nickel corner come and run fit, kind of like what we saw Bray Hubbard playing at this last game, looking like a third linebacker on the field. Their nickel corner is going to give them that same feel. And so I feel like in order to keep them honest and to really get a good read on the box, that's why I think Alabama will come out with a lot of those trip sets, those bunch sets, whether they're tight or they're spread. I think we'll see a lot of trip sets to get a true read on their box, because this is a disciplined defense. You're not going to see them missing many tackles. And one thing that Coach Grubb spoke about with Kevin Riley, he reads the offensive line and how they're keying their blocks or their leverage. He reads them well, and he breaks tackles very well at a high rate. He's leading the team right now as far as broken tackles, yards after contact. So this would be a good game for a patient, explosive runner. And then for guys with power like Richard Young, Daniel Hill to feed off of that, to come in behind that, this is going to be a good matchup. So I look for our offensive line to really step it up this game. What is the best offensive line grouping that presents the most effective run production? If you had to put your best 5 out there to really get that game plan establishing the interior run game, who would your guys be from left to right? Who would your guys be from left to right? And I'm gonna say this, and then this is going to kind of lead into a conversation that we're going to jump into here in a few minutes. The left side of the offensive line in the run game, Kalen Proctor at left tackle. When we have to get a run push, I trust Kalen Proctor. You turn on the film from both weeks, the run game is his strength. I don't know who had us believing that he was so solid in pass pro, because we have yet to see it, right? We've yet to see the consistency. But in the run game, Kalen Proctor is very athletic, and I think that's where we got to see a lot of his highlight film coming out of high school. Him getting out in space, that big frame getting out of space, and being able to turn his head, get upfield, peel back, and clean up blocks in space, right downfield. So seeing him getting out to the second level this last game, it was encouraging. Now let's see what he does against the likes of the linebackers. Sebastian Cheeks is going to be a guy that he's going to have to kind of have, hovering over him. What's going to happen when Mason Rager, the senior transfer for Wisconsin, this guy 22, has been showing up. We talked about it yesterday with Ryan. He highlighted a guy, and I fear, because I don't say I'm not going to say James Pierce's skill set, but gives us that same feel with how he comes off the edge, and he's going to be over Proctor. So we know once he struggles in the pass pro, he's very hesitant, even in his run push, and that's his strength. So want to see, can we go early with him being a more support role, not leading off of him, but in more of a support role, right? Allow him to play a lot of backside concepts, beat up on the guy a little bit, slow him down, then run at him, right? Allow him to lean a little bit more. Then I want to see us use the left side, because Cam Deboer has been playing lights out. Maybe one slow drive, 2 slow drives between your 2 games, but he's been playing lights out. Parker Brailsford, same thing. Gino Vandermark looked good, but then Jaden Roberts came back and reasserted his dominance and how much he impacts the offensive line. So I think we're in the space right now. We're still on the offensive line versus their D line. I think Jaden Roberts being back is definitely a huge get. But this right tackle thing that's going on right now, I look at Michael Carroll. His effectiveness when he got in the game, yes, it was ULM, but even the snaps that he had against Florida State, his effectiveness in both of those concepts, in both of those games, in both pass pro and run game, I think we're seeing something evolve here. And the first name I think back to is Tyler Booker. Same thing happened with Tyler. It was times he was getting the snaps at guard as a true freshman, and you wonder what's going on. Why can't we just go ahead and roll him out? I think this staff is starting to see, hey, this guy's ready. And he was one of our early picks to be a impact freshman. Michael Carroll looks great out there. Has been looking good ever since the spring, came into the fall camp, ready, looking good. So I think right now our offensive line and against their defensive front, that's going to be a key matchup to watch. You got to watch these guys, especially on the interior. They got Parker Peterson is a guy, and I'm not sure if he's going to be healthy, but if he's available, he provides kind of like that third man, that I guess you could say that change of pace, run gap, push, that change of pace, pass rush that they get from the interior. And that's our strength right now. So we're going to see if we can nullify their strength with our strength on the interior. and how they're going to affect us with something that they're very confident in, probably Mason Rager and then even I think the young man's name is Charles Perkins transfer. We might see him get a shot at getting out there on the interior rotation. So they have some guys that we're going to have to pay attention to. They're going to have some guys that we're going to have to pay attention to on the front. Now, at the second level, they got some, like I said, Wisconsin, Nebraska, those teams, they're going to have quality linebackers all the time. They breed them. That's what they recruit. Penn State, teams like that in that conference are going to have quality linebackers. I look at their group now is more of a linebacker by committee crew, but them defending the run game is effective. They're sure tacklers. So guys like Kevin Riley, guys like Daniel Hill, that have shown their explosiveness. This would be a game they might have to be a little bit more patient and just be tough runners. Physicality is going to be a key to be established in this game. Now, another topic of conversation we want to roll into, and that's the primary matchup I think is going to be key in this game, because I think Alabama has the advantage everywhere else. I know they have a good secondary, but I think with our talent depth, if we can provide time, there are not many secondaries that can really stay in coverage with this group of receivers, especially the trio we saw of Jeremy Bernard, Rico Scott, and Isaiah Horton. They look very good together. But then also Cole Adams, Rico Scott, Latsier Brooks, they look good together. Derek Meadows looked good out there when he got his reps. Jalen Hill coming in at that X position, getting a lot of reps this last game. So I like the pairings, and I like the rotation that we're seeing from the wide receiver room. And I think right now Wisconsin has a set 5-6 DBs that they're rolling with, that they're comfortable with. But after that, you see kind of a drop off in experience. You see a drop off in game experience and just veteran presence. So it's going to be key for them to stay healthy on the back end, because if they don't, it could get ugly. The way that Ty Simpson is delivering this ball and distributing this ball to these receivers that are making big plays. All right, let's switch to the other topics of the day, man. I really don't want to dwell on that offensive line, D-line, because I saw some things, and we're going to get into it on the film, man. We saw some things on film that I kind of concern me from Florida State game, and this is literally the edge, the tackle position for Alabama's O-line, and that's both left and right tackle. I didn't expect us to be at this stage right now with both Formby and Proctor at this early in the season. Now, I saw some positive things from week 1 to week 2, but I won't sit here and act like is ULM is some type of competitive challenge for that position. I didn't see them present anything on field that was athletic enough to really test the tackles. And even in that, I saw some phases where Caden Proctor really struggled in the game. Confidence was there, everything was there. It's just he struggled with some mechanic things, and we're going to talk about it during the film session tonight. We're going to actually do that here. We're going to do it here and on the Coach Smook Reacts channel. I think I'm going to try to stream it live so we can get algorithm for both. But we're going to do that tonight. I think that's going to be some fun stuff. So, what else we got? Let's kind of switch the mood up. We get off the Wisconsin breakdown, because we got a guest coming on tomorrow. I think y'all going to be excited to hear the breakdown tomorrow with our guest tomorrow, and he's been here before, but when he comes, y'all know we always have a good time. We always go down memory lane and we have a good time, and we talk some good football, and y'all love him, man. Y'all love him. Melvin, what's good? He said, what's up, Roll Tide? I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Don't forget to hit the likes. Now, let's switch to something that we've been talking about amongst the fan base. I want to get into some fan talk here. And my question is, we got 25 likes on the stream. Appreciate that. Mary J tapping in and making me see. That's why I like having Mary J. She gets all the cues from the booth. You know what I'm saying? I get all my cues from the booth, what y'all see on the screen. That's how I get my cues. But appreciate y'all for the 25 likes on the stream, y'all, here on the Coach Smook Morning Show. Y'all showing mad love. Like I said, continue to help us knock these goals out, man. And TikTok, y'all continue to tap that screen. I appreciate y'all. Now, get into this topic right here. we've been having talks about amongst the fan base. There's been a lot of talks about how Coach Deboer is too soft for this program. He ain't got no control over, the players in the locker room and all this other stuff, right? So after a game like this past weekend, and like I said, I don't want to hype it up because it is ULM, but 73-0. I've never played, and I've played on great teams. I played at Russell County High School during the dark ages, right? Where we had plenty of talent, just couldn't put it together, no discipline. And we won games, but when we were the more talented team, we found a way to let teams stay in the game with us, right? Or we found ways to not look as good as we were. And we saw that from Alabama team last year, right? We saw that a few times last year. And against bad teams like Missouri was last year, we saw our defense show up and show some effort, and they did what they were supposed to do, and you saw the result. You saw execution, you saw the play call in there. You saw turnovers being forced. You saw hype on the sideline. You saw energy from your players. You saw all of that, right? So I look at this now, and I ask the question from a leadership standpoint: does Kalen Deboer have the attention of his locker room? Keep that up, Mary J. From a leadership standpoint, does Kalen Deboer have this locker room's attention? From a strategy standpoint, right, does he have their attention? Meaning the systems that's being presented, the philosophies that's being presented on the field, the game plan, is it attractive to the players? Do the players want to execute it? Right. Also, and then from a belief standpoint, and we talk about team morale, right? Air quotes like to do that sometimes. I don't know why, but team morale. Does Kalen Deboer have the attention of this locker room, of the staff, of the people that actually execute what we see on the field every week, that have a real intricate part of that? And I want to put that poll in the chat. So does Kalen Deboer, and I'm gonna put this. Appreciate y'all for voting on the time. Yeah, we're gonna move to that 11 a.m. I see that. Appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for the 30 likes on the stream here on YouTube. So the poll is in the chat. I'm gonna put it in there. Does Kalen Deboer have the attention of this locker room? Does Coach KD have the locker room attention? Yes or no? Give me some answers in the poll, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on it right now. I think right now, from a leadership standpoint, he's never not had the attention of these players. All right, I don't think, when it came to his football knowledge and what he brings to the game as far as being able to interpret what needs to happen to create a winning strategy, I don't think he's not ever had that respect of the players, even the players last year. Now, the way that he wanted to get it done, maybe there was a little discrepancies there. There was some space there, but him being a winning coach and understanding how to win, they were very aware of what Washington was doing the year while they watched them play against Michigan, and nobody really knew who was in charge of it. But when you look at the consistency over the time that he's been a head coach, you don't question it until proven otherwise. And a 9-3 record last year in the regular season is another testament to that, no matter how you look at it. All right, so did it take a loss to Florida State, the way that we lost to Florida State, not just the loss, but the way that we lost to Florida State, and his response and his consistency and his delivery on how he has approached this whole transition in becoming the head coach of Alabama, following one of the greatest coaches of all time, and the greatest coach of all time, understanding the assignment, accepting the challenge. Do you think that his leadership qualities have failed this program thus far? I don't think so. I think anytime you can get a team that goes out with all the hype and all of the expectations that was set before this Alabama team coming into the season, that myself and other media contributed to, right? The demand that was put on that game, the expectations, right, that was put on this team going into that Florida State game, all of the predictions that we had with Alabama handling Florida State, and then to go out and lose like that, but then turn around next week be at home for your home opener, and come out and perform the way they did, do you think Kalen Deboer has the attention of this team? Now, let's turn the page to the strategies part. Do you think players are excited to play in this offense? Do you think the defensive players that are showing up week in and week out that continue to, and I'm gonna tell you like this, I can see the excitement, but where I see the excitement coming from is the younger players. You had some redshirt sophomores, meaning they were there as freshmen, or they were there as redshirt freshmen for Coach Saban's last year, meaning they had it 1 year under Saban, and their last 2 years of college football have been under Coach Kalen Deboer, Kane Womack, and now Ryan Grubb. Right? So those players, Bray Hubbard, who else? Dre Kirkpatrick. Those players like that, those are the players that I see starting to thrive. Jeremiah Beeman is one of those guys, even though he's injured now. Edric Hill is one of those guys. Those players are the ones, Jordan Renard, those are the ones that I'm starting to see thrive in these systems. And then on the offensive side, you don't see many left from the Saban era, because now you see a different presence of and style of player being needed to convert this offense into fully into what it needs to be. So I think, yes, this is becoming an attractive destination to come and play in this offense. Yes. Defense, yes. Defensive backs are starting to look at this scheme and they're loving it, because you know how much space we get to play in. You know how many, and this is another thing, strategy wise. If I'm a defender, right, I'm looking at London Simmons, I'm looking at Asai Faga, I'm looking at Steve Boland, I'm looking at Yanzi Pierre, I'm looking at Justin Hill, who played a lot of snaps in coverage last game, because that's what that's what the offense presented. Justin Hill played a lot of drop back snaps. He didn't rush off the edge a lot. That young man can get out in space and cover. I know it's ULM. I want to see him against some more skilled guys, but that young man can get out there in space and cover. Very confident in coverage. I like that for a young player. QB Reese, guys like that. When you see those type of players finding comfort in these type of schemes, you see that natural athleticism on their high school film. You see them flashes in different parts of the game. But last week before against Florida State, I seen these guys. These guys are buying into these different schemes, these philosophies, because they get to highlight their skills, man. And when you have multiple guys in your position room that can relieve you to where you're not burnt out, that creates a trail of success. That creates consistency for you at the next level. So do they believe in these strategies? I do. I think so. Team morale. I still think there are spots on this team where we can see where guys aren't used to not being holding themselves accountable. I can still tell there are spots on this team, there are areas on this team where players are looking for a coach to really chew them out when they mess up, instead of finding that space in themselves to hold themselves accountable and find that internal motivation to do better, right? I think personality wise, you have a good balance of high energy coaches and coaches who are just right there, always at a consistent medium, right? I think there's a good balance there. And then I think there's a good balance of guys that don't say much, but they come here and they do their job. They show up and they develop, they teach the playbook, and that's it. You got to have a balance. Too many people yelling, too many rah-rah situations, you lose control in chaotic situations. You got to have a lot of guys that are right there, that are medium, that are seeing the game for what it is and are making decisions not based off of emotions. I think a lot of times during Coach Saban's era, and this is another topic that I kind of just want to bring up. It's kind of a thought, and I'm gonna bring the siren out, because this might be a thought that people disagree with. This might be a topic that people might disagree with, or a thought that people might disagree with. So I say this. I think under Coach Saban, you had such a militant way of doing things that you weren't allowed to think outside of a box to a certain degree, right? And that came from on-field execution, development, how you develop your position groups. I think right now what we're seeing with Kalen Deboer's team is you're seeing coaches being allowed to be coaches, one. Developers allowed to be developers as long as within the grand scheme of how we want to develop our players and fit the grand scheme of how we execute on and off the field, right? And that in turn allows you to grow as a player. You have to make a lot of personal choices to buy in. And a lot of these young men have never been faced with that style of coaching. You could tell some of the kids that have been, the Cali kids, that's what a lot of those programs are built off of over there. Those prestigious programs that we got kids coming in from Cali, off the West Coast, Texas. That's what they're used to. Down south, you just not seeing prep style coaching and prep style programs become a regular in the public school systems where a lot of your talent is coming from. So the adjustment curve is starting to bend a little bit shorter now. You're seeing guys adapt in real time. So do we see this trend continuing to go? Because I think that's where we're seeing the difference in production on the field. If that's a trend that we continue to see to grow, I think we're going to see a more elite product put on the field week in and week out. So I'm excited to see it develop. I'm excited to see these things go. Kalen Deboer, continue to do what you're doing. If I had to say, does he have a good gauge on this locker room? I would say yes. Is it a finished product? Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Because if it was, we wouldn't be in the position we're in now. And I'm not mad. I think that was a great addition to the fuel that we needed for this team to start to develop into that elite talent, the elite squad that we expect them to be. So y'all continue to run the likes up in the chat. That's going to be it for that topic. Let me get some notes up real quick because I got some highlights, some players that I want y'all to take advantage of. What's up, Amberly? Good to see you, girl. Back that checking in, big homie. I see y'all, Philip, Manny. I see y'all over there on TikTok. Y'all tap that screen, man. All right, so before we get out of here today, I want to have another topic of conversation. And this is kind of interesting to hear about because you all know how I get down after practices or games. Long story short, there was some disappointment coming out of the ULM game. And I'm not talking about the fans. I could care less about what the fans are talking about at this point. The Fairweather fans. I could care less what the Fairweather fans talking about. But there was some disappointment coming from the locker room, from some players and some guys that I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of them. We're going to start seeing a lot more of them, and we'll get into that conversation right here after this break, man. And then when we come back, also we'll be jumping on the phone line. So Zach, everybody that wants to call in on the phone line today, as a matter of fact, let me know if you plan on calling in today. Jump in the comments. Let me know. Put me in the game, coach, and we'll see if we need to open the phone lines today. Because if not, I got a bone to pick with some folks on NCAA. So we might get some gaming done on TikTok today, chat. But we got post-practice reports coming in already. Not post-practice, but pre-practice guys texting, talking about some things that we're supposed to be discussing. If you didn't see the pressers from yesterday, Bama Central has all of the videos uploaded. The audio is not that good this time for yesterday. I don't know what happened. It looked like they were in a different angle. But Bama Central, shout out to them. We were able to catch up on everything yesterday through them. And then going forward though, we should have our own feeds pulling up for when we have media availability. And then also, if you all want to get into some film study tonight, we're going to do it in Discord. We'll do it in Discord. That way we can get people in. We can ask questions. But what happened is we'll record it so that we can post clips from the Discord, the film session. And that'll be like our way of interacting with the community. That way it's not just about me talking about what I see in my concept of what's happening on the film. We'll get people that's in there that want to talk football, that know football, right? And we'll just kind of just break down the film, and it'll be a open, lighthearted little session, have some fun, and really just break this thing down. And so if you want to get into that and just kind of start asking questions or learn why things are happening on the field the way they're happening, you'll get into that with some headset talk, some film session tonight in our Discord. If you don't have the Discord link, it's in the chat. One of our mods can definitely get in there. What's good, Damon? Good to see you, my guy. And Bama Nation, AAA family up in here. My guy Damon, where you been at, my guy? So we've talked about the young players being unleashed. We've talked about some of the schematic things that we want to see. The key matchup that I'm looking for is the Alabama offensive line versus the Wisconsin defensive line. We asked the question, does Kalen Deboer have this locker room's attention? And you all responded. We had 75% say yes, 25% say no. Then who are the key players that felt disappointed after last week's stunning 73-0 shutout? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it here on the Coach Smook Network. But before that, last time, man, think about becoming a member of the AAA family. I'm telling y'all, we got a new video that we're editing up here for this welcome. Some of you all be surprised at some of the clips in it. Don't be surprised. Don't ask where we got the clips from. Just know Coach Smook got some clips, and they're going to be part of the commercial. So y'all get ready for it. But if you want to become a member of the AAA family, this is how you do it. By supporting the Coach Smook Network, man, you're just helping us grow and continue to spread the word about the quality content and the fun, interactive, informative, creative, informative content that you get here at the Coach Smook Network when it comes to your Alabama sports. Check it out. Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
All right, y'all, let's get into it. Let's finish this thing out strong. We got about 8 minutes left on the show. Last topic of conversation I want to get into, man, real quick before we get out of here. A lot of the Alabama players, y'all, we had a lot of positive responses from the fan base, you know, the natural, you know, people were excited about getting a 73-0 victory over anybody. You're going to be excited, right? But a lot of players from Alabama's from the roster, they had some different type of different type of responses. And I liked the response from one Caden Proctor, regardless of my criticism. I like the togetherness. I like the sound of players kind of standing up for themselves, right? So this is something solid that I appreciate from Caden Proctor, and this is what I mean by quieting the noise, or being aware of the noise and clapping back as you should. If you're going to be on TikTok, if you're going to be on Twitter, if you're going to be on Instagram doing what you do because that's just what you do, and you're going to do that and you're going to still be successful, you might as well start handling your business there too, right? And let everybody know it's already been, I've been talking about this since the Tides that bind. We used to do the watch party over that last year, right? And we saw the episode when Caden Proctor and Wilk Informally spoke on, the effects of what the social media presence does for these players. And y'all could call it soft or whatever, but I think it's something to be said when your players care enough to let you know, hey, we care what our fans say. We care about, what we're doing out here, but we're not perfect. So don't beat us. Don't kick us when we're down. Find a place in yourself to see, everything ain't gonna be perfect all the time, but understand we do want to put our best product out here. So I like when Caden Proctor said it felt good to silence some of the noise from 40 to 50-year-old dudes who are sitting on their couch and criticizing the Alabama team. And there's so many words I truly believe Caden Proctor wanted to tell the couch coaches to shut up. To shut up. All the couch coaches that feel like they know so much and they feel like they can do so much and really just get on here and they complain, and that's all they literally do on these cameras and on Twitter. They come behind these troll pages. He said it felt good to shut y'all up, right? Now to sit back and say that he doesn't have a right to say so, yeah. But there's a response to this. There was a response to this, and the reason I found it is because I find this really funny that this is the mindset, right? That some of the fans have because they buy a ticket or a jersey or they're contributing. I think this is a poor mindset to convince kids to come and play for your organization or your university, right? And when players see this, don't this feel slave? Like, don't this feel like some old slave time? I'm your master now, boy, type stuff. I ain't feeling that. Every game is a performance review. I understand that, but when you talk about getting rid of players or this player sucks, and we talk football here. We talk about players not, players overextending, players not being consistent, players not showing effort. That's football talk. But I'm no player's employer. I know I have I'm invested into the program. I know that, but particular, I can't really account for what part of my dollar went to Kalen Proctor and what part of my dollar went to Ty Simpson and Kalen Deboer. I can't. I don't think Alabama Roll has ever handed the checks directly to Caden Proctor. So let's start with that attitude. But I like the fact that the players are clapping back. Even Ty Simpson made a statement, said, we practiced pissed off this week. We heard the noise. We practiced pissed off. They expect better from the fan base. They expect better. Not only from themselves, but from the fan base. Do we not have enough confidence in these boys that chose to commit and play for the Alabama? And I understand NIL clouds some things, but you had a whole portal window where nobody left. Everybody chose, knowing coming into the season how much competition was on roster, what was showing up, what this staff's direction was. You had no one enter the portal. So for some reason, they believe in this script A and the coaches that have been entrusted with it. So why can't we? What's good, Dedward? Good to see you, man. Off the beaten path. Good to see you. So I want to hear from y'all. We're going to open the phone lines. Actually, the phone line is already open. Let me make sure I got the right settings up so we don't have no audio issues. 334-625-1121. We're going to keep the phone lines open for about 30 minutes. So when you call in, be mindful of your time on the line. I appreciate y'all for supporting. We got the phone line open, 334-625-1121. You can call in and share your thoughts. What is the idea behind? What is your thoughts behind the players shutting out all the noise, but at the same time being cognizant of it, acknowledging the noise? What's up, Jimmy Gray? Good to see you in the chat, man. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Got our first call of the morning on. Let's get it.
Call from Zach Willie. To accept, press 1.
Yo, Zach, what's up, man? You're in the game. Talk to me, man. What's your thoughts around this as a Bama fan around, the players not necessarily clapping back, but taking a stance for themselves, not going to the excuses of mental pressure like we heard last year and all of that stuff, but really just kind of being themselves, kind of being who we expect athletes to be when you talk about their performance and how they're coming to the game, how they're approaching the game.
Good morning, Coach Smook and AAA family. I'm proud Caden said something, but at the same time, do we want them to practice pissed off? Yes, but for the fact that they're pissed off because of the lack of effort, not from to prove a point to a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old men that are and women that back
as Zach said, equal opportunity.
Bash them all over the internet and everything, and when they play bad, but then turn around and praise them when they play well. I mean, if you're gonna be fair weather no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it. And yes, do we have a culture esse? I think we do with a lot of the fourth and fifth year players, the veterans, that played under Saban and everything. But can we get it fixed? I think we can, but at the same time, the players have to want to fix it. We can't force them to fix it. They have to want to. That's with anything, with your job, with everyday life, your relationship, whatever. You got to be willing to commit and fix the issues around whatever's going on.
100%. And I think people have this idea that just because they pay to watch a player play, it is warranted to have your feelings heard and displayed on public platforms. I think there's a time and a place for everything. I truly do. And I've never been one when I've had to be a team leader, or if I've had to have work with people or have people work for me, under me. There's never been a good outcome to me being in that role of, because I'm in this position, you got to do it. There's never been success bred from that, especially when you're dealing in a space where people have a freedom of choice, right? And they could choose to shut down one day if you continue to criticize them from a sense of, I don't care about who you are as a person. I just want you to get this result for me. That's what that gives off when you see people say, I pay my money, I'm invested, all this stuff. That's what pisses me off about it. Because you don't care about the fact that this player might be dealing with so many other things, and that some things just aren't processing for him in that time and moment. You're not considering that. You're just in your time and what matters to you. You're just saying what matters to you, and that's not the right way to do things. And I think there's something that should be said when players can get to the point where that criticism and those things, we're going to use it for the right fuel, but we're not going to be quiet about it. And for people that don't think that Kalen Deboer has control of this locker room, I think that in itself, for him to be confident enough to respond that way, that in itself lets you know that this staff is encouraging these players to embrace who they are. Make it us against everybody else. Make it your locker room, your brothers, the people that line up with you and go to these workouts with you and show up every morning, every evening, every weekend, right? Did all this. Make that be more important than what, and mean more than what the people on the outside are saying. No matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent, make that more important. Because at the end of the day, We see how these fair weather fans do. We see how they do.
Fact. And I mean, and the players, I want the players to play for each other, not for the fans or the media or anything in between. I want them to have the brotherhood and the camaraderie to play for each other, go out there, compete for 60 minutes every single game, every single week, and go out there, and if they work hard and win a championship, so be it. If they work hard and put in the effort and they don't, so be it. You know, as long as they put in, give 110% effort on every single play, every single game, I'm happy. You know, when I see lack of effort and people lollygagging around and not doing their job or not attacking the gap like they're supposed to, that pisses me off.
Yep.
And I have the right to be pissed off, just like the players have the right to get pissed off, and you know. But I'm not going to go out there and bash a player and tear him down. Will I criticize him and tell him what how to do things to make it better and to improve? Yes, and that's the difference. There's a difference between criticizing a player and just bashing a player and tearing him down.
No, and in everything in life, there's boundaries. There's boundaries of respectable evaluation when it comes to us as spectators of the game of football, when it comes to our team and our expectations and how we interpret the game. All of those things matter, and there should be some type of tact used when displaying that, especially on social media, especially when you have a following like some of these people have, and some of the things that's being said is just something should be that won't be tolerated. As long as I see it, I'm gonna continue to call it out. And to me, I can't say you support me. There's one thing to tell me the truth, but it's one thing to be say you're on my team, and then everything you say about me, it leads to failure or to me not being able to get better. That's where we have a difference at. Zach, roll tide, man. I appreciate you for calling in, man. We're gonna open the phone lines back up for the rest of the show. All right.
All right, roll tide.
Roll tide, Zach. Y'all give it up for Zach on the phone line. That's always popping the show off with his vibes, man. That's Zach, man. Hey, listen, I told y'all when we open these phone lines, we're going to hear my boy Zach. We're going to hear my boy Zach. And I like exactly what he said. Let's get to the comments real quick while we got the phone lines open. 334-625. We got another call on the line before I can even get to the comments. Let's get to it.
Call from
Swag.
Thanks, Zach, man. Hey, listen. Another call on the line.
Yo, Saran, is that you? Yo, you in the game with Coach Smook? Who's on the line?
Swag.
What's up, Swag? Good to see you. Good to hear your voice again, man. Welcome into the show, y'all. Swag on the line. Get in the game, bro. What's your thoughts on Kalen Proctor? You know, responding to the media, some of the other players. Like I was just talking about, a lot of freshmen had some things to say about, you know, just how the team came together and responded to the doubters in the fan base. What's your thoughts on Kalen Proctor coming out and being vocal about that?
I mean, I like his response. I think it was professional enough. But I kind of think that, like, with the whole responsibility, it's kind of a two-sided coin, in my opinion. I think as a player at not just Alabama, but pretty much any school in the SEC, like, college football Saturdays are extremely important to those fan bases. So you kind of owe it to those fan bases to go out there and you'll give it your all every single Saturday.
Yeah.
So if you go out there and you have a lackluster performance and you're not putting forth the effort, I think the fan base kind of has a right to be a little pissed off about it. But on the other side of that coin, I think as fans, I think we kind of have a responsibility to be able to separate the player from the person.
Yeah. And that's
you
know what? I'm glad you said, I'm gonna give you a siren for that one, because we gotta start putting things in perspective. We gotta start putting things in perspective. Some of the people that, and I'm gonna say a big populace of college football fan base, the people that make time every Saturday to watch every game, right, and to be that invested. Imagine how much work is not being done, how much lack of production that's happening during those 16 hours of college football every Saturday during those months, right?
I'll be watching it in my office.
Come on now, just think about it. So we could sit there and not be doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing to handle our job and do what we're supposed to be doing on Saturdays. You got to think, cable guys work on Saturdays, plumbers, EMS. You got a lot of people that they find ways to stay engaged and invested in this game. But in that same sense, as much as an investment you're making and watching, and as tied to this game you are, you're not doing your job, right? You're not doing your job. So for you to roll over and criticize players to a T like this, all they have to do is play football. No, some of these players understand, hey, there's a 2% chance of me actually going to the next level. So I need to lock in on my grades. I got this NIL going. I need to make sure I'm showing up to class and maintain this GPA, and I'm showing up to practice. And I may not play a snap, but this is how I'm changing my family's life and scope. And right now, as a true freshman that's not third team or not fourth team, that may not be my main focus right now. I got bills to pay back. And some of that, everything varies. There's, to every situation. But overall, I think we should have enough respect and these boundaries to keep it just football and not making it about this player's trash. Fire this coach. This, you know what I'm saying? Like that to me, that goes too far. That goes too far, especially when what you're saying about scheme and philosophy don't even line up with what you're trying to get as far as the result.
Yeah, I think another thing that kind of drives me crazy too is like all the fans out there that are already like wanting Kalen Deboer to get fired and all this stuff, and it's like I just don't understand that. Like, why would you want him to get fired? You don't want him to like turn the season around and have a successful season. You rather him fail and get fired. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't understand that at all.
Weird activity, man. And then like you present the questions. Who do you go when people say that? Who do you go and hire? Who if you fire Kalen Deboer? Who can you afford to go and hire? And then once you go and hire them, are you going to give them enough time to get the coaching staff and the players that they want before you start asking for them to get fired? Like,
well, you know what's crazy too? Like all the people calling for like Kalen Deboer to get fired. I feel like honestly, the players that have let us down this year, it's a lot of players that were there when Saban was there.
Uh-oh, I'm about to put that siren on you again. Folks don't like to hear this part.
A lot of the players that were stepping up is all players that Kalen Deboer brought in.
Come on now. Hey, Parker Brailsford, Jeremy Bernard, Josh Cuevas, Keon Sabb, Damani Jackson, Dijon, this year, Dijon Lee, last year, Jaden Mbakwe, Xavier Brown, like true freshmen, guys that came in under this new regime. They're the ones really stepping up and showcasing that this has potential. Even on the offensive line side of things, man, Cam Dewberry coming over as a transfer, he wasn't a Saban guy. Skipped out on coming, and I think we talked about this the other day. Skipped out on Bama because Saban was at Bama. Like this was a guy that Saban targeted and chose not to come because of the style of coaching that was here. Comes over here now, he's one of the more effective guys in this system. And then look at the guys that are struggling on the offensive line. Let's just be honest, Caden Proctor and Wilkin Formby. And I'm not dogging these guys. I'm just saying there's a different mindset to this. There's a new way of winning in college football. I think Kalen Deboer has a bead on it. That's why he's seen the success that he's seen at each stop that he's has seen as a head coach. Swag, roll tide, man. I appreciate you for calling in and sharing your thoughts, my boy.
Can I pick your brain on one last thing?
One last thing.
All right. So I wanted to ask you kind of specifically about Ryan Williams. You played receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Ryan Williams, I might be reaching on this one, but do you think that Ryan Williams maybe struggles with not always, because, receivers got to make their own reads sometimes too, right? Do you think he kind of struggles with kind of finding the soft spot in the zone and kind of sitting in that spot when he finds that open space? Do you think he kind of maybe overcommits to the route too much and runs himself into coverage?
Nah, I won't say that. One thing I will say there, I've seen Ryan Williams struggle with both and coming in last year, which I expected, is press coverage. Press coverage. Anytime he doesn't have that off ball alignment, he struggles in his release. Now, I will say this with guys, less experienced defensive backs, we've seen him have his way with those guys. He's just naturally talented. But with more experienced guys, that can kind of match him in the physicality, which he's not very physical, that's where we've seen him have problems. And so if that's late route interruption, if that's early route interruption, we've seen him have struggles with that, later, as the reps build up throughout the game. Now, I truly believe that's where his strength is, being able to read defenses and have his IQ of the game. That's why I think he excels in. But finishing plays, the simple things as far as the speed of the game, I still think the game is kind of fast for him. So he's trying to anticipate the speed of the game instead of just flowing through the natural reactions of it. Catch the ball, tuck the ball, turn my head, get upfield, secure the ball. Those small things are sped up for him because he thinks the game is moving that much faster. And to a certain degree, I think it is. The game is moving a little bit faster for him. So he's still in that adjustment curve of things. And, seeing guys out there that like Rico Scott, Cole Adams play that have kind of got the same amount of looks as him, even though he's been on the Cole Adams has been on campus longer, hasn't been able to produce or be thrown out there as much. I think seeing guys like that developing the same type of process and have success will slow him down, and that until we'll start to see his impact again. But right now, I think he's just in a sophomore slump, man.
Yeah, I got you. Maybe it's just hard for me to understand because, I just be so open all the time,
My guy Swag, man. Roll Tide, Swag.
Roll Tide, man. Roll Tide.
My guy Swag, y'all. Just in case y'all didn't get the backstory, that's my guy, man. We played flag ball together when I was in the military at Fort Hood, and he was my center and probably one of my leading receivers the last season before I had PCS from that unit, man. I played, and we actually won the championship. The year I had to have my ACL surgery, I came back. I was supposed to be coaching on the sideline, and I coached the last week of the spring season. We lost it in that championship game because I couldn't play. And then I came back in October of that year, about 6 months post-surgery, ACL surgery. Had a protective brace on, and we made a run, man. We won that championship my last season there. Shout out to my guy Swag, man. But he was my center eligible receiver, man. And I think he led in receiving touchdowns and receptions in that part of the season. It was fun, man. It was fun. Ryan been shook since the Tennessee game last year when those DBs handled him tough. That's what I noticed from last year. A lot of people get mad when you tell the truth about Ryan Williams. I don't know why. And I don't think we're criticizing to beat him up. I think we're expecting him to take that next stride. And now, because there's so much attention on him, he don't get to do it in peace. He don't get to do it at a pace that I expected. I didn't expect him to pick it up until, you got to be like 16, 17 games in before it really clicks in college football, man. And when you're being under the microscope, when you're under magnifying glass, every play, it's a tough spot to be in. It's a tough spot to be in because you don't get that space to really develop. And I think he's up for the task. I really do. My boy Kareem says that flag football hit different in the military. Oh, yeah. You better know it. It's just like it is on college campuses. The other Jay, what up, everyone? Put me in the game. Coach Smook, the phone line open, man. 334-625-1121. With Germ dominating, do you feel teams will switch to doubling him up and allow Ryan to get the one-on-ones? Jay Penny, that's my hope, and that was my thoughts coming into the season. I felt like there will be another receiver emerge. Jerm was a primary target last year, though. It was second in receptions last year, first in receiving yards, or second in receiving yards, and I think first in touchdowns, total touchdowns last year. But I knew that either Isaiah Horton or Jeremy Bernard would be the initial beneficiary of Ryan Williams being in that first group. But I told you all, Rico Scott would be the guy that ultimately ended up benefiting. And you can see his targets right there in line with what you saw with Henry Ruggs when that year he was the fourth guy. Devontae Smith that had a year where he was the fourth and fifth option. Like that is not a bad thing for Ryan Williams to be the third option, because then your production goes up. You're in more situations now because of where you can be placed on the field, your alignment, what you demand, the type of attention you demand. When other guys open up, now they have to adjust. And now you're in those one-on-ones that you want to be in that favor your matchup, that favor you in the matchup. So, Jay Penny, you're right on the line with what I was saying. Hey, Jay Penny, where that wristband at, family? Y'all make sure y'all get y'all wristbands. 850. I see you on the line. Let's see if we can get him in here.
Call from
The other Jay, put me in.
to accept.
Yo, the other Jay, you in the game. Talk to me, man. Everybody in the chat, the other Jay is on the phone, man. What's up, the other Jay? How you feeling today, bro?
What's up, Coach Smook? Hey, I'm feeling real good. Sorry I haven't called in, but nice to get the win, get that monkey off your back. And I believe these boys about to, they've been humbled. And I believe
Uh-oh, you breaking up a little bit. You good?
Are we good now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. I don't know what you heard, if anything at all.
You said it was good to get that monkey off our back, and then you started going out. Go ahead from there.
Yeah, and I believe that we've been humbled a little bit. I think I've been humbled myself with that score prediction I had too. But I think we're about to really show what we got. I think I know Ryan going down. I think we kind of figured out some things in the wide receiver room. So, hey, watch out for them boys, man, this week with Wisconsin. And I think we're going to start doing some real good things.
100%. What's your thoughts behind Caden Proctor's response to the 40 and 50-year-old guys sitting on the couch criticizing the Alabama team? How do you feel about him feeling the confidence to respond to the criticism and the social media presence and things of that nature? And then also, do you think this is a thing that you want to see more? If they're going to continue to perform like that, do you want to see more of this from our players?
Well, I want to know those 40 and 50-year-old guys and 45, something right between.
It hit a little different when he hit that 40, when he made it specific to that age group.
Yeah. Hit dog will holler,
Hey, other day, at least you being accountable. It's some out there acting like they didn't say nothing about this team. They wasn't on their podcast screaming for Kane Womack to be fired and all this other stuff. I'm glad you accountable. Now, what I will say is this, Jay, and I'm gonna step up for you. I'm gonna be your boy right now. I'm gonna have you back. You didn't come out talking about this player trash and this player should quit and go home. And we did talk about the Bama standard. We did talk about what we expect as coaches and as fans or whatever. But you also just talked about the effort. That's not bashing a player. You can demand effort from a player that's getting paid to do this. You can demand effort. You show up and you do this. This is something, a luxury that most kids would give their life for, to have the opportunity. So we can demand some effort, but to really criticize these players and attack their character or them as people, like the last caller Swag was saying, I think that's where we start crossing the line. But you never did that, so I got your back on that one. Shout out to Jay Penny for becoming a member of the AAA family, man. Welcome in, joining the AAA family. Y'all give it up for Jay Penny, man.
But yeah, I can't criticize this player, that player. We've seen in the past where we've come out flat, and really in the Florida State game, a play here, play there, we in business. So it was just a little bit of lack of effort. They put in the work this past game. All they can do now is get better and go from there. I'm going to still criticize where I can, but criticism is only love because we know how good they can be.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody said something, and this was my response. If we were going to respond to a player, clapping back at social media, I don't think the response of, hey, I pay to watch you play, I own you, you better play right. I don't think that's the right response as a fan. But something like this, Kareem Hood in the chat just said Proctor's response should be on the field instead of to the fans. Don't talk it, walk it. Because if anybody, and this, I'm paraphrasing now, if anybody deserved the criticism from the fans on their gameplay and their performance, it's Caden Proctor, especially in that Florida State game.
Yeah, he was getting beat left and right. But
we know how good he can be.
Exactly.
So he's going to hear it, and he's going to have to respond. It was just ULM, but, putting a goose egg up, that's a good start. And the offense was clicking.
Yeah.
So you keep getting better. Prove us wrong, and then you can say you got us. But if you keep proving the fans right, what do you expect?
Exactly. Exactly. And like you said, man, I think this is a thing that to me, this is more so of the players having that much more confidence in the coaching staff to be able to speak out in this form, in this way. And to me, to a certain degree, I want to see this. I would love to see more of this, not more of it. I just want to see this be a consistent thing, meaning we don't play like you don't hear. I hated the fact that Coach Saban would try to play like these players don't see what's being said, and him telling them not to hear the rat noise or take the rat poison. I think that's something that we cannot play around with anymore, because a lot of these boys' livelihood is through social media. It's literally through social media. Everything that they must do, they have to make an appearance and have an awareness of their social media presence. So it would be crazy to sit here and say, everybody that you see say something negative about you on social media, block them. No, because you'll be a fool to act like there's nothing wrong. But there are some things that I feel like should be added to the fire, should be used as added fuel to the fire. And if it's going to continue to produce this result, I'm rocking with it.
Yeah. You got to treat social media just what it is, social media. You can't read what we used to say back in the day, you can't read your newspaper clipping and think that's happened at Florida State. Everyone started to pick us for winning it all. And they read that and they just thought they could show up and win. Nope. Florida State got D1 players too, last I checked.
Yeah.
So I think you now understand it. I got to take some humble pie too. I think I put too much into it myself, saying they were going to hang 50 up. Luckily, they got 70 this past week. They got to keep pushing it, man.
100%
is a good test, but it allows those boys to get better. So, hey, I'm gonna hang up. Just remember, though, Coach, it ain't that Jay.
It's the other Jay.
We'll holler at you later.
All right, man. The other Jay chat. Hey, appreciate you, man. Roll Tide, man. Hey, y'all. I like the fact that our phone calls, our frequent callers, we've seen a boost in our lineup this year. I say this last season. Y'all know we had a few personalities that would call in with the same type of hip this, hip that, trying to do like little sayings and stuff. But I like the crew that we got calling in. And the more names, the more people that we get calling in, man, it's going to get better. I want more people to be encouraged, and I'm seeing that. I'm starting to hear more voices. We've had Swag call in a lot. Y'all know Zach is our longest tenured caller and is going to continue to be a voice. But I love hearing the new voices come on. We have Rayshawn call in. Y'all know Greg is a long time guy. Can't wait to get Davin back on and Sully when he get real talking. We having a crazy show when Sully call in. And then y'all know D Wade got to sneak off to the back corner of the office out there. He provide that good old insurance for y'all. He got to sneak to the back corner cubicle and call us and be on his headset acting like he fixing the computer and over here talking about Alabama football. He got caught last time, y'all. I snitched on him. I ain't gonna lie, I snitched on D Wade chat. So if y'all don't see D Wade commenting in the chat, it's my fault. I thought it was gonna be funny. I thought it was gonna be funny to get my boy in trouble, but nah. My boy Kareem Hood says rat poison been around football since the beginning of time. Ain't no way around it. And some players should hear it and take it as fuel to go out and play. But that's my thoughts exactly. I've never been one to act like so. My first high school coaching gig where I was on the sidelines and actually on the staff. Shout out to Deborah in the chat. Greetings, sister. Roll Tide. Welcome in, everybody. All my members, man, tapping in. I want to see some AAA emojis in the chat real quick. If y'all could, just give us some AAA emojis in the chat while I make this statement. And the phone line is still open, 334-625-1121. I wanted to talk about this because the first year that I was a coach, I was a wide receiver coach at Calvary Christian High School in Columbus, Georgia. And, this is coming into 2018, 2019. We're coming into the age where we're seeing the social media presence of high school football programs and things of that nature really start to pick up, right? You're talking about your Twitter pages, your team Twitter pages, your team Instagram pages. All of these things started to pick up, right? Become a mainstream type thing between programs. And so shout out to Britt over there tapping that screen too, and all the people on TikTok. But so what I started doing is I started going on Twitter and Instagram. Well, Instagram is what was huge, and Snapchat. I started seeing like teams that we were playing in the city, right? They would go at each other, right? You'll see a player, you'll see a thread, players going at it, and I would find comments where my players, and because we had a few players that transferred from some of the local schools that had talent, right? These guys were looking for some early opportunities to play, got them in. They were looking to be dual enrollment guys by their junior year so that they could graduate early and go off to college. So we got them over at Calvary, get them onto the team to start getting them integrated, and they were some trash talking young men, right? They love to talk trash, and I love that about them. But at the same time, we were not a team that was coming in with a dominant presence or a dominant history, right? So get into the season, I find the Instagram post, and I screenshot where they were talking about the guy that we had playing quarterback. Now, he had never played varsity quarterback. I don't think he ever played quarterback in organized football, but was a natural athlete that could throw the ball. Mechanics was not there. This was a guy that whenever he put the pads on, he was getting thrown the ball or handed the ball off because he could make moves in the open field. Got this young man before the game, right? He did all this mechanic work with our offensive coordinator and head coach throughout the offseason. Fall camp looked solid, looked like he was becoming confident. Showed him all the pages, man, this dude ain't no quarterback. He a hooper, this, that, and the third. You know, in the comments, they like my boy up. I got these things. I lay them right there for him to see him. Oh, that's what they talking about? He said, oh, you seen that, coach? Yeah, I seen it. Gonna let this be. And that worked for him. But then there was some players that would see stuff on social media, and that be the main thing they talking about before the game. They in warm-up lines, you know, man, you seen nobody said what he was gonna do. And you had to go to them and tell these players, hey, that ain't what you focus on. Do your job and watch what happens. We'll talk about that after the game. If you win, it don't matter what he said beforehand. If you do your job and win, this you get the bragging rights. And some players, they had never been put in those moments. So that first season, when we went 7-3 and got put out in the first round of the playoffs, yeah, it wasn't a bad thing for them to learn those lessons and for us to grow from that. So I think we can use both sides of that and grow from it. Both sides of grow from it. Some people can pay attention to it and be effective, and some people can't. Y'all, we're 2 likes away from hitting that 50 like goal. Y'all ready to help us crush this doggone 25 like goal. So one more like, we only one more like away from 50, y'all. So continue to help us get there. Now, we got the phone line open. We're going to be open for 5 more minutes. 334-625-1121. Anybody else got anything to say about this team tonight? We're going to open up tonight. And like I said, I'm going to go through, get some clips ready, and we're going to do some film study. I think the way to do it, we're going to have 6 plays. Or we might could do 8. We could do 8 plays. We could do 8 plays tonight. 4 from offense, 4 from defense. 4 plays in the game that I want to kind of look at that I believe are going to, because I got like 8 or 9 plays that I think are going to be key plays that we look at in this matchup. But throughout the day, man, continue to tap in. I think I'm gonna go live and do some gaming here in a few and see what we can get done. Nah, as a matter of fact, we can't do no gaming content today. We got to prep that video. We got to finish editing that video. That's going to be huge. Next week, I'm going to kick off. I'm going to drop next week's show. We're going to drop the new intro. 334-625-1121 if y'all want to call in. Got 2 more minutes if anybody want to call in to close out the call-in segment. If not, man, don't forget, y'all, today, make sure y'all go check out the merch site. If y'all haven't checked out the merch, y'all is tripping. Let me get a mod to type exclamation merch in the chat over here on YouTube. TikTok, I appreciate y'all for tapping. Hey, Antonio, what you talking about? That gaming? Listen, I need to get on that game for real, man. I've been slacking. I've really been slacking. I ain't been on that mug in about, the live game sim is the most I played it. Y'all need some gaming content? Bet. I go live on TikTok. We'll have some gaming content on TikTok. Mary J, you can take the call-in banner down. The call-in line is down now. We just closed the call-in line. Thank y'all for tapping in, but don't forget to check out the merch, man. Don't forget to check out the merch. If you have not tried to order your merch, go ahead and order it. The discounts are still active. We still got the discounts active. 25% off on all the new merch. The Coach Smook Network hoodie is the only one we can't get a discount on because of the material, the zip up hoodie. But make sure y'all go check it out, man. There's some nice stuff. I got some things coming in here soon that I think I'm gonna start showcasing on stream. Really trying to get a boatload of stuff so I could be rocking it everywhere. I don't want to be wearing stuff out too many times. But y'all go check out the link, man. We got the cups. They still on order. The tumblers right here with the straws, ladies. I know y'all love them type of cups, man. Y'all get them cups, put y'all little wine and stuff in it. We got the shot glasses for celebration. We're gonna have a big reason to celebrate soon here, Coach Smook Network. And then also, y'all, be on the lookout for some information regarding our AAA community gathering for the end of the season. We want to try to do something, y'all. We want to try to do something. So, yeah, if y'all want to contribute to the thoughts of how to get together as a community, definitely do that in the Discord. Shout out to my guy, Big Kareem, for the $5 super chat. Yesterday was live, and so is today. Great show. Great work, my guy. Appreciate that, Kareem, and appreciate the $5 super chat. You becoming a sponsor on this month's, as a co-sponsor of this month's streams here on the Coach Smook Network, man. I appreciate that. What up, Chris? What up, man? Good to see you in the chat, man. Where that wristband at, Chris? Where that wristband at? We got to get the wristbands out, man. It's the first week in the month, or we coming out of the first week of the month. I know a lot of y'all need to renew it, so go ahead and renew it because we're already over 100 members right now, chat. We're already over 100 members, and that means we're growing. That means y'all are believing in what we're building over here, and I appreciate it. All the ups and downs, we're continuing to grow, and I appreciate that from each and every one of you all that continue to support the Coach Smook Network. Thank you all for what y'all do, man. We just hit 51 likes on the stream, man. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourselves, AAA family. Give it up. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. 51 likes on the stream right now. Thank y'all for the love and being who y'all are for this channel, man. Y'all just don't know. Y'all keep on doing that. Next thing y'all know, we'll be celebrating 100, 150, 200, 250 likes. Y'all gonna be in here chatting, getting mad at me for not being able to get to all the comments. That's where we want to be at. That's where we want to be at as we continue to grow throughout this industry. We want that presence to where when y'all show up, y'all know that the Coach Smook Network is bringing that quality content, and we ain't dialing it down, man. This can get tiring, but this can get tiring if you don't have a team behind you. And the only reason I'm able to continue to go is because I have a solid team behind me. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate my team. I appreciate all the sponsors. Shout out to you, all the sponsors and partners of the Coach Smook Network. And with that being said, without further ado, remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on TikTok here in about 2 hours. We're going to do some gaming. And then tonight for our film session, I'll put out the information. Make sure you got your notifications on here on the YouTube channel. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed and enjoy the rest of your day. Aaliyah. Roll Tide, baby.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live. Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe.